Like, is this map secretly Phobos? It's like a Scooby-Doo reveal. They pull off the mask and it's like, ha, I was Phobos all along. All right, chat. Little bit of a delayed start because having some difficulty getting the stream started. I think I mentioned it last viewer games. We did have, well, I had a number of issues with my PC. It quite literally cooked. CPU gone, drive gone, had to rebuild everything. A lot of time, money, and effort that I didn't want to have to spend. But it is what it is. We are back. We are talking Phobies. We've got viewer games. But at the top, I wanted to let people know about 2 tournaments that are going on. One is a Shriek. That is our async tournament. Everything's set to level 1. By the time this goes live on YouTube, the signups may be closed because as soon as we get 8, we're going to kick it off. It's a round-robin tournament. Gives people the opportunity to play async at level 1 in a more competitively minded setting. 2, of course, somebody did ask about our weekly tournament series, Monster of the Week. You can find the details for that, as well as A-Shriek, in the description. Hit up the Discord. All the details are in there. Everything there is set to level 1. It is Arena for Monster of the Week. No, Lippy's back. Oh, no, I forgot to change the setting. All right, finish the thought. So Monster of the Week, weekly tournament. You get coffee just for signing up. Details are in the Discord. You'll figure it out. I'm going to make a note of that. All right. So we're going to jump into the games. Of course, I have to let everybody know as we get started that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. But without much further ado, let's get into them games. Yikes. It's a struggle, chat. We're going to try and do our best so that don't have spoilers. I kind of like the idea of this new format. We're going to try and get into the habit of it. And we're going to jump in with a Potenza game, Potenza 2. Our hero here on Castaway. What are the notes? Boo Fairy, Double Trapper, Akira meta. I feel like we watched this game. We 100% watched this game, right? Hold on, chat. I'm going to go check YouTube. I'm pretty sure we watched this game last week, and it was just, like, resubmitted. So you're going to hear the YouTube, probably hear YouTube in the background. Tenzi Aditi, 37 turns. Is that this game? What's the... I see Akira, I see Boo Fairy. We 100% watched this game last week. We'll skip this one. Yeah, because it's Benny... Creepy Devil. I'm pretty sure a not Sasquatch. Whatever the new guy. Yeah, there it is. Skinwalker shows up. All right, we'll skip that game. Told you, chat. It's a struggle thus far. It's a struggle already. What do we got? Did we watch this one? This is from last week. I don't remember watching this game. All right, we'll see if this is one we watch. This is Potenza submitting the game against Dama here on the Big House. The notes here are Russell is stupid. We agreed on no Sentinels, no Shove Shark. I don't remember watching a Russell game on the Big House. It's funny because Cars had brought this up recently. Was it recently? I don't know. I've always said that I'm concerned about a world in which Russell is good. And I think we're now living in that world that Russell is good. And I personally think that's a problem. Why do I think that's a problem? Because Russell is just binarily powerful. I don't know if that's not a word, but hopefully I get the point across. It is either really good or it is trash. And when it is good, it is oppressively good. There's no like, oh, well, this is doing, where it's rare at least. It's not impossible, but like it's generally, it takes over the game or it's doo-doo, especially in the old Bluelian world where Bluelian was like showing up a lot more than it does. Viewer games, it is in fact viewer games. It is in fact viewer games. I don't know what the is for. Like, yes, that's what's happening. But yeah, Russell, I don't know. I love Russell, but the problem is, like, I don't like what it likely does to the game. It's one of those things that a lot of people, I think, want the phobia to be good because they don't necessarily realize the impact. And then once they witness it, they're going to go, oh no, what have we done? And I expect that to be the existing game state for it. So we got a little Benny action here out of our hero, banking up to 7 keys. There wasn't a whole lot going on in the early game. Like, we traded some stuff, but whatever. We're getting a stare down. I know they committed to no sentinels, but, like, is this materially better? Seriously, like, are we really that much better off for having no sentinels in this particular game? I do wonder what a world with 0 turrets would look like. I guess no matter what, you know, like, Honey Bear isn't your prototypical turret. You use it primarily for the puke. It just happens to be also a pseudo turret, kinda. I mean, the damage output is low. But the point is what if we had a world where the bennies, the stabbies, the bowmangles, the giggles, the corns, things like that just literally didn't exist? It feels like it cuts a big archetype out of the game, but I don't know if we're necessarily worse off for that. So I will say I do remember a Honey Bear game on this map last week. I do not remember a Russell. Hold, please. I just want to double check. We definitely looked at a game like this recently. But last week was like all Castaway, which I realize that video is going in the background still, so hopefully the audio wasn't coming through. But we do get the Bluelian as the counter. Hilariously enough, well, I was going to say the puke could interfere with it, but you were never going to position the spa in a place that it would get turned off by the Honey Bear puke. Wait, what? Oh my god, the counter Honey Bear. Plays are being made, chat. Obviously, Potentia here is going to try and wait until you can get that Honey Bear puke set up. That will disable a fairly significant portion of viable spots for healing spas. And both players are locked into their respective teams for now until something goes down. I have to imagine Corn or Benny are going to be the first to eat it, but we shall see. Poison going down. 100% of Dama's team gets tagged with that. Our hero going in for the long-range vomit, actually turning off the panic point. Is that worth? Would you not have been better off? So, like, they targeted the panic point. Would you not have been better off targeting the space with the spa so that you could puke on more area and thereby prevent Bluelian from putting spas in other more defensible positions? Either way, it looks like Russell's going to eat here. Getting the multi-hit, 600 damage going down on each. That might be a dead Honey Bear. I mean, that's 5 hits. Like, he's tanky, but he ain't that tanky. And this stabby should all... Yep, that stabby's dead. What's going to kill it? Don't even need the help from Benny. Benny's now going to be completely freed up to assail the Jin Sting. Yikes. This Russell just bodying through the Bluelian, I might add. Bodying bad guy's team. I have to say, like, real talk, the Honey Bear counter was a great heads-up play. Because it's very easy to be like, oh, well, they have Bluelian, my Russell is DOA. Maybe not dead on arrival because it arrived first, but you get the point. It's very easy to believe you are cooked. This has to be a droney, right? I guess a snowball could come out. All right, going for the droney. I don't remember if Potenzi already used snowball, but there's an argument to use snowball. A, it would tank a trap hit. B, it would also represent dimensional damage, more stuff. You might want the extra key. I already forgot whether they used snowball earlier in the game, but either way, GG. I really do like that honey bear play. I think that was really cool. I think it's just neat. All right, switching to game 2 here, chat. Let's pull this one up and see what we've got. This one is back from the 21st. Roughly same length game. We got a Hall of Mirrors game, this time from Dama, our previous bad guy. Closest game so far. I don't know what that means. Like on the ladder? In general? I don't know. Hard health, maybe? I'm not sure. There's a lot of different ways to interpret this. So what are people's thoughts on this map? I believe Hall of Mirrors was one of the contest winners? Question mark? I could be wrong about that. But I'm curious what people's thoughts are. I keep adding it to Monster of the Week pools because it kind of seems to come around for availability in the map pool when all the other small maps are doo-doo. So it's like, I like to do 4 maps, too small, too big, so people have options. And I try and eliminate ones that are quite egregiously bad, like Lights Out, stuff like that. However, I don't really have an opinion on this map, I'll be honest. It kind of hit when I was personally moving more into event organization rather than playing Phobies. So, like, I'm inclined to believe this is not a great map, but a lot of the games do seem to resolve pretty quickly or reasonably. I think that's an interesting discussion that I need to have with Karst on the show at some point on Face Your Fears, because, like, what makes a good map? Like, what do we want? Because it's easy to say, make good maps, don't make bad maps. Make aggressive maps, don't make stall maps. But, like, putting aside what if people like stall maps, what exactly are the feature sets that do that? Why do we want that? You know, I think there's a lot of things to be interpreted here. Bad guy with a heads-up play here, keeping the jar out of trouble, body blocking out the cat. Nothing in position for our hero to actually tag the cat. I don't love Unbearable here. I guess it's fine. Is it? Is Unbearable fine here? I guess it's fine. But yeah, this map feels like, imagine if the dead center poison tile was another panic point. Would that be good? Or would that be bad? Would it matter? I do want to see maps where there are adjacent panic points like that. I also just hate maps that have even panic points in general. Yes, the odd... Oh, excuse me. Yes, the odd count panic point maps can still stall. Even, like, a 3 panic point map can go 1-1. But I don't like that, okay, baseline, it's like that. Where at least on the odd ones, somebody could try and push. Here, I feel like it's even reinforcing the idea that, no, you take yours, I take mine, and we just stare at each other. But this map is kind of interesting. It stayed very, or this match, rather, stayed very mid-rangey. Nobody banked up to be like, oh, well, I'm going to drop my 8 key, I'm going to drop my 9 key. I feel like this is a Sentinel and Shove Shark centric map. You could very easily set those up like an attractor play or something, and I think those might be some of the more damning complaints about it. And that's why I'm not inclined to like love this map. But we don't see it often enough, and people don't really pick it in Monster of the Week. Which I'm always going to be inclined to lean into tournament data as like something better to go off of compared to ladder data. But the reality is that we do get way, way more information from ladder, and the vast majority of people, their game is ladder. They're not playing these other, call them modes, but you get what I mean. All right, so our hero here able to heal up, maintain a panic point advantage, at least for now. We got the counter creep as the final phobie. 2 undeads on the other side, so I don't hate it. But 4 keys available for bad guy, and they decided to drop an innocuous now. Is that innocuous just dead? That can't... No. Really? Yikes. Yeah, honestly, I think you go for the poison here on the creep. Is their poison back? Their poison might be back. Maybe that's why. Because the poison from your creep will be way better than the poison from the tile. So, like, who cares kind of thing. I guess the goal here is that the entire time you wanted to poison the snappy. I guess. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, they probably would. Like, you poisoned their creep, they would have poisoned back. So it's not, like, super exciting. But you do have the snowball putting in work on the heart. Yeah, too little, too late there, bad guy. A lot of control by our hero throughout the game to maintain a triple panic point advantage. I kind of feel like bad guy through. If you have access to Innocuous, why the hell did it not come out sooner, and why did you just give it up immediately? That is a yikes moment. $151 health, that and 155 health on the heart. Got him. Get wrecked. Well played. Well played. Way to stick it out. Yeah, I hate to be like, well, bad guy just threw. That's why our hero won. Which, yeah, both players play the game, but sometimes you just look at it and it's like, yeah, that guy done messed up. That guy done messed up. Almost forgot to switch. All right, zone in here with KingBastos. Bastos? I don't actually know how your name is pronounced. The Omega Avatar. The first thing that came to mind, honestly, when I saw our hero's name, who I'm pretty sure is new to viewer game submissions, I love Innocuous. Well, you might be alone there, friend. I mean, lots of people love it, but they also hate it. I don't know. First thing that came to mind was Cluck Norris, honestly, when I saw our hero's name, because, like, Cluck Norris based himself, which is just, like, unsettling, is the way to put it. Uncomfortable, one might even say. Ooh, our hero playing a little safe here, choosing not to... Whoa, what? Choosing not... My obs decided to jump monitors. Choosing not to claim panic points. Interesting. Panic point advantage. Now the Innocuous can cover both the center and bottom panic points. So, I was mentioning earlier, like what kind of ooh, get a little heebie-jeebie special action, blocking off the bottom bad guy with the Gravedigger plays. Honestly, like the Gravedigger response in general, it probably isn't bad to try and fight the inoculi. So I want to see more maps where it is difficult to reinforce. So like an error gets punished harder when something dies. And I want to see more maps where you can't just park a turret to cover multiple panic points, either due to obstacles or space. So like if this map was taller, it would have to be taller and wider to accomplish both goals. Well, I guess you could just completely rearrange the geography, but like for the single example, if this map was taller, so that way you couldn't necessarily cover everything with the Inoculus, I would like that better. Or you have more obstacles to do it. I mean, like, where the Inoculus is right now, it literally covers all 3 panic points, which I guess some of those maps should exist. But I do wonder, should they? Like, do they have to exist? As mentioned before, that it's all player types, and some people really like that. And you're allowed to like what you want to like, but the rest of us may hate it. Slap. I even had a little bit of caffeine earlier today, chat. I'm sure it's gonna, you know what's funny is, like, I'll drink caffeine. I haven't done it in a while before stream, but, like, I'll have caffeine late so that I have the caffeine in my system when I go to stream. And I will be exhausted through the stream. But then 2-3 hours later after the stream's over, it'll start kicking in. Even though I had the caffeine, like, an hour or 2 before the stream. And it's like, why did it take so long? And now I can't fall asleep. And then the next day is shot too. What do we got here? We get a little Hevo action coming on. Are you like? I guess you're vulnerable. The snowball. Honestly, bad guy setup is like, it is threatening to the Inoculus. I was trying to figure out why our hero was backing it off so much, but between the jar, the snowball, and the Hevo, if it's in range, it's gonna die. So, not sure if hero's in-game name is intentional, but Bastos in Filipino is rude. So when I read it, it just means King Rude to me. Oh, it's like it means the word rude as opposed to being like a rude, like an obscene or rude thing to say and having a different meaning. I wonder if that's true. Our hero will have to chime in the comments. Cyclops, Final Phobia had a bad guy. The erratic is interesting, again, with the delayed shove shark. Maybe, again, is the wrong way to put it. Because the Inoculus from bad guy was delayed last game is more what I was thinking. Like, this is a... Why did the sound cut out there? That was weird. It's more that it's like, this is a really powerful phobia. Why did it take so long to get on the board? But either way, our heroes left at a phobia advantage, both in terms of quantity as well as quality. You could argue that if, like, erratic goes down, bad guys at a big advantage, but there's no way erratic dies without, like, catastrophic retaliation. And at this point, it's just a matter of time because there's not enough of a clock with a 1 panic point advantage for bad guy to really press this. And our hero's basically taken over the game. I don't want to say that it's like, yeah, this entire game was down to Inoculus, but it kind of was. Because Inoculus was able to control so much space earlier in the game that, like, how exactly was a bad guy supposed to get in there? I kind of wonder, chat, do we have something that would qualify as a 4 health Quagmire? Like a hyper tanky, but reasonably threatening 4 key. Oh, good heads up Shove Shark play. Not dead? Oh, there we go. Okay. Wait, what? Yikes. What did that live with? 33 health. Womp womp. So, like, on one of the recent videos, I mentioned that I wish there was a Tiny Tim that protected your team, and Karst is like, well, that's Furnace Face. Like, I mean, it is, but it's also a one mover. Similar to that, and this is why I'm asking, is I don't remember if there's a 4 key that would qualify for this. I want another 4 key that you can, like, safely dive with early to mid game. And then you use, like, Quagmires. Like, I kind of want those stages. This is why it's important to have Phobies of certain roles at different key costs and, you know, different variations all up and down the cost chain. GG, well played. Because our hero here was able to set up this Innocuous, and I'm not confident that there was anything bad guy could do short of banking into something else, like higher key costs. And this is just another way to try and solve the Sentinel problem and some of the other issues that we've seen in the game, is that if you introduce the option to have, like, an acceptable diver at that key cost, it, at least in theory, gives you that as a play option, as opposed to having to take however many turns off to get into something higher up, whatever that something happens to be, and or set up your, you know, your perfect team, and then your opponent has all this time to do whatever with. Now, you can't just have, oh, no matter what you do, I can plop a counter on the board, and there's no advantage for ever doing something. Like, this feels like a weird discussion to have, because you do want, oh, I put something on the board, I need to get an advantage out of it. Like, there has to be a reason. But the advantage can't be so significant that it's an unreasonable burden on the other player to try and counter it. And I feel like I would love to see a little bit more tweaking done on the Sentinels and do it stepwise. Don't just kneecap them all in the next patch, which I don't think they'll do, but, like, okay, do a slight HP nerf, maybe do another cooldown nerf. Don't necessarily do all of them at once, or damage nerf on top of it and all this stuff, because I don't want them to be worthless. I mean, personally, I wouldn't care if they were, but I don't think it's necessarily healthy to do that and just immediately, effectively ban a phobie by making it terrible. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that would be like, nope, that thing should be removed from the game, all of them, forever. But I don't think that it is worth doing that for a lot of reasons. Aside from people just enjoying it, I don't think it's healthy to do it that way in games. But if they did, I wouldn't care. But we'll see. Oh, good God. Yikes! This is the game that doesn't end. It goes on and on for 46 turns, my friend. Sparky saving the day. At this rate, Father Time is going to save the day. The year 2025 is going to save the day. The sands of time. I don't know. Other illusions. Let's see what we got here, chat. 46 turn. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if people try and do this. I wonder if people try and do this to track turns. Like, okay, so here's the other. So this is another interesting discussion. Carson's been pushing for this idea of draws in Phobies. Like, you can draw in Phobies, right? But Carson's been pushing for the idea of, like, a chess timer draw. Because in chess, I think it's a 50 move rule, although I'm sure it depends on various events and other rules and stuff like that. But if you and your opponent make 50 moves in chess and neither of you make a meaningful advance, like if you're just, I move my guy to the, like I move my rook to the side and you move your rook to the side and I move my rook to the side and I move your, and you just go back and forth over and over again, it's a draw because no one's meaningfully advancing the game state. And Kars is positing that there should be something like that for Phobies. And, I mean, maybe? I don't know what that turn demarcation point would be. Like, it's certainly not 50 turns. Most games don't even last that long. But if we say the average game length is 30 turns, like, let's assume 30 turns is the average. How many turns have to be, quote-unquote, empty? No damage dealt to the heart, no damage dealt to opposing Phobies, that sort of thing, before the game should declare it a draw. I'm personally uncomfortable with the idea of doing that at all. I can understand why, but I just don't know that there's ever going to be a reasonable way to do it. And I think what they would need to do is actually warn you in-game, be like, draw timer has started. If, like, it would, you know how it pops up when it says a phobia is invisible? It would have to be something like that. Draw timer has started. You'd never be able to explain what all the details for that. And then they pop up like at the top of the center of the screen, whatever the timer is, and it ticks down every turn. And then when it hits 0, it's a draw. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like, if they said tomorrow they're doing that, I just don't know how often that happens. And I don't know if it's necessarily healthy either. Because, like, I feel as though that would incentivize people to stall the game out. The reason for that is, if you are losing, a draw is better than a loss. Or otherwise, like, what's the difference? It's still a loss. And in some perverse world, even if it's like, it's a draw, you both lose, that would be better for most people. Well, not most people, but a lot of people, just for the spite factor. So it kind of incentivizes people to try and force a draw if they're in a losing position. And I'm not sure that like, if you are winning, it's not that you are winning by so much that you can just go in without issue. I think there are plenty of games where your opponent could reasonably dodge you for a long time. And how do we determine that? Like, where's it fair? Is it even reasonable across all maps to have a blanket rule? Are we going to program a rule for every map? I don't know. Also, this game is getting... I understand why I went to 46 turns. So, like, this game, for example, based on Kars rules, would not ever get drawn because all the panic points have been claimed now. So, and because it's odd, someone will always have a panic point advantage. So damage is always being done to the heart. Like, there will be a conclusion to this game, even if they both just hit end turn forever. Both players are obviously gearing up for the Wombo play. Ooh, we're claiming their stim. There's only 6 phobies for our hero now, rather. But 13 keys available, 11 for bad guy. Panic point advantage hero. Yeah, I guess you kind of have to honor this, but not really. I don't mind the or the the innocuous positioning, because that will be able to get a pot shot on Ginsting no matter what. If Ginsting tries to like go farther south, like down here by the heart, you'll be able to move down and target it first, and then you could bring everything else into back it up. Bad guy admittedly had Snowball in position, so there was a threat there. This is, I want to say, an abnormal game for this map. If I can't win, you won't either type of thing. Yeah, I'd hate that to be the case. Tell me about it, because in the game that I'm playing, card game real life wise, Star Wars Unlimited, that is the rule. If you draw, you both get a loss in tournaments. And it is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Because I've witnessed people intentionally spite their opponents because like I don't like imagine if in Phobies you put Innocuous on the board, or a Tractor, or Akira, or Phantom, or insert whatever phobia is popular to hate right now. And then your opponent could draw the game to make you lose. Like, they may not be able to win because, like, okay, maybe there is, like, the phobia is actually broken, or there's, you know, whatever. They don't have the tools. They're whatever. It doesn't matter. But imagine they could draw the game so that you lose. Just because they want to be spiteful. It's giving bad actors an additional avenue, which is my concern. All right, getting the free shot here on the Noxious. I don't know what to say for this game chat, because it is a big positioning battle. Here's the weird thing. Neither player went for any displacement. No pulls, no pushes, not even a swap. Which I think should be an ability that makes another comeback. I think we should get another Graylien. Most exciting part, yeah, getting a free pot shot. I mean, you take what you can get. Can't turn those down, right? And honestly, this sort of a battle of attrition could matter. I think the frustrating part about these stalemate scenarios is that it's not... There's no meaningful way, generally, to force your opponent. It's not... Okay. Let me rephrase this. If you get into these stalemate scenarios, the concern that I had with the draw system is that if you are in a stalemate, but you are actively pushing your opponent around the board, it's just going to take you however many turns, and then you end up getting a draw as a result. Odds are that's unlikely. All right, finally we get some displacement. Like, look, I'll accept it's unlikely. But a lot of these stalemates do end up being like, I move top, so you move bottom, so I move bottom, so you move top, and then I move top, and then you move bottom. And it's just like, this is a waste of time. What are we doing? It's part of the reason why I think there should literally never be maps with even panic points. Because, yes, it is possible for you to stalemate on odd panic point maps. Nobody ever claims the one. But at least it's less likely. This has to be a bait. I think you can get this kill. You have to be able to get this. If you can't get this, like... That's a big yikes moment. This is a big risk from our hero, though? So who do you gonzo here? Honestly, would have played Akira. I do wonder why bad guy didn't do that. All right, so we're going to juice... Yeah, the Jin Sting can target this down. You will get the long-range hit with the... Oh, we're going to go this way. All right. So we're trading 5 keys for 9, essentially, which is why, like, that bait was pretty good. Yeah, I like that. It's a 4-to-1 panic point advantage, but again, this is, like, it's going to take forever to capitalize on this. That's probably a dead Jin Sting, so you end up trading 9 for 9. But then you get first act again. Ooh, that bad omen could be a problem. Pow, right in the kisser. Honestly, Sparky's not doing bad here. Sparky got a buff recently, didn't he? Am I misremembering? I'm like super tired all of a sudden, chat. Like that's why I brought up the caffeine earlier, because I don't understand why I'm so tired, but I am. Stabilizing the panic points. Our hero is under a little bit of pressure, but still like 40-something% on their heart, probably. Bad Omen not even going for the power down. Going for the attack. Oh, no. Oh, no. That seems bad. Boom, the final phobie. 1 key remaining for our hero. But that Sparky should be able to put a hurt on Gonzo and or, well, or Inoculus, not an and/or. What are we doing here? I didn't love the Bo Mangles follow-up. But the positioning here is obviously to avoid the Bad Omens from connecting with anything for now. Depending on bad guy's positioning here, it's going to be difficult to determine whether our hero, I mean, wild guess, I think they won, but it's, it could be tough to push and make an invade here. You got a bunch of slow phobies. I think people just go boom to spike my blood pressure. Believe it or not, it really doesn't bother me. I make a joke at it, like the bloats and the halfies and the booms and the all this stuff. Like, it's hyperbole. You can use it or not use it. You don't have to do it to annoy me. I will forget as soon as I close out of your game. I won't remember. Although the booms here are at least more reasonable. Ooh, we're going to get the dive to take out the Inoculus. 1,256 damage, Ouchtown population U, bro. Sparky is exposed, but realistically, look at bad guy's team. Like, there's not much damage there, and Sparky is fairly tanky. I was about to say, how does bad guy fumble this position? Honestly, I think they forgot about the Gonzo activation. Like, they probably just lost track of the cooldown or something like that. It's the only thing that logically makes sense to me. Oh, the challenge play. Never mind. I thought they were going to go after the Gonzo for a second. Nope, playing it safe. I mean, bad guy, I think, is eyeing up a hard push with this Noxious. But there's no positioning where you could get there and be safe from the Gonzo. Yikes. Over 800 damage off that Noxious? I feel like people have forgotten about Noxious. That guy is nasty. Yeah, at this point, I mean, bad guy did slowly... This is well played by Mago. It's being able to ensure that they got the connections they needed and taking the picks where they needed to. I think identifying that the Inoculus was like the final threat on the board. This one could be tough. Wait, do you have enough? All right. I'm not going to do that math because it's obviously our hero has it figured out, but like, I think we can all see what could potentially happen here. Panic points did get stabilized. 616 damage. I mean, That's a close one. That's a close one. Not as close as Dama's game earlier, but this was a very close game. Well played. It again kind of took some help from bad guy, but we got there, chat. Well, our hero got there. GG. I don't... That was a weird one. And I agree, like, an Akira would have been fine, so I don't know if maybe bad guy just... I don't want to use Akira. I don't know why you wouldn't. I forgot to switch, chat. But I don't know which game we're doing, so hold on. We're doing this one. We're back on Hall of Mirrors, Aliengineer versus Hoploy. No notes. I guess the game will speak for itself. This is only a 20-turn game, quite literally less than half. We could fit not just 2 of these games, but a little extra into the last game. It's like overstuffing a calzone, chat. Gotta be careful with that. You didn't want me to add any? What? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Chat, I got a new game that I'll talk about after, if people are interested after this game. It actually comes in like a little soda can, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like, there's some similarities to Phobies. He wanted me to submit his game, but didn't want to add, what, aliengineer? What is it? Aliengineer, if you're watching, what is this, beneath you to not submit your own games? Like, what did it, come on. You got to make other people do it? So, I will point out, Hoploy does still have like a 5-level advantage on Aliengineer. The gap is closing. The gap is closing. It doesn't know how or forgot. It's a channel in the server. You just click on the damn thing. Oh my god. Aliengineer with the zappy. Yo. Okay, I'm very curious how much Aliengineer theory crafts Phobies. Because obviously, I think about Phobies a lot. And since I don't get to play much anymore, I generally am theory crafting stuff. And I'm thinking out loud when we're doing the streams. Karst obviously thinks about Phobies a lot and plays Phobies a lot. You can tell because of all the design documents that Karst has written up. Aliengineer is in the mentorship program, as far as I know. But I don't know if they... Like, does Aliengineer spend a lot of time theory crafting or just playing and then it's like, oh, I know this by feel? What? This is the theory I would love to have crafted for me. Why glob into repeller? That seems not good. But I am not on Aliengineer's skill level. Certainly not any longer, if I ever was. Chat, my carpal tunnel is either really bad or my diabetes is really bad right now because my fingertips are numb. Seems bad, man. Seems bad. I'm not a doctor. I'm pretty sure that's not good. Pretty sure that's not good. Yo, we get a little shove shark. Who could have seen that one coming? I'm honest to God really surprised by the glob onto erratic. Okay, fine. But with the repeller available, just why? Now, I will say, I don't love that the repeller got burned here. The reason being, well, I guess it's fine. It got poisoned, so... Oops. Excuse me, helps deal with the glob. But, the threat of the repeller push, especially on the glob, is pretty significant, right? What are we going to get here? Can you just tank this? 3,000 health. You can get the glob with things out of the heart, but they're only going to get one attack. You can't just like pop out a jar and sit on the vault and target it. It's too far. Cupcake. I don't know why the puff came out other than just like, oh, this is a cool phobie, let me use it. I'm not really sure. Like, what is the advantage of the puff here? And now do you have the boop open? All right, this will come back next turn. I was trying to see if, like, can you eliminate the erratic right now without even allowing it the chance to recover? But I think you have to reposition. So now, bad guys in the scenario where they need to advance into aliengineer's defense, which is not a position you want to be in typically. Now, I will say this is a departure, at least from the last time I watched an aliengineer game on these sort of maps, where they would grind it out and then go into a tractor. So I don't know if that was intentional just to explicitly avoid it or what. I assume the puff is used to stand on the obstacle to avoid the global getting some hits in. But I mean, puff is a solid phobie, but like, if you just want a flyer, do you need 6-key flyer? All right, so Hoploy here just kind of walked into this one. Yeah. I mean, I thought there was enough damage with just the attacks and you wouldn't need the jar, but either way, that's now a dead erratic. That's going to be a dead Sockassin. Bad guy's down to a measly 2 keys. Admittedly, you still have puff, but you just burned the Blom to, like, push a little heart damage. Boop. Made a big blunder on, what, this turn or the previous turn? I mean, turn 18 could have killed Zappy and Gravedigger. Did they? You're talking on the Hoploy turn? All right, so Boop is live. But you need to boop so that you can connect with, well, they boop anyway. Where do they end up? Right, they do hit this with the repeller boop, don't they? So if you push there, you can't, you don't have the Blom. Like, you need to connect with the Kaboom. But there's no way to push them to do that. Like, can you push... Like, if you boop from here with Repeller, does it change where they end up positioning? Because this is more north than where it ends up. That makes sense? So, like... Hold on. Why is this not... My Madden thing is busted. I gotta fix that. Should have killed the Gravedigger, then get one hit with either Repeller or Puff, then Kaboom the Zappy. Is that enough damage? Oh, shit. This does... Oh, my God. I didn't realize... Holy crap. I didn't even look at... Or, like, really recognize the Kaboom damage. Yeah, that... Because I was thinking that, like, you could kill the... I didn't say it, but I was like... I was thinking in my head you could kill the gravedigger and then kaboom this, but I didn't. I don't know. In my head, I was thinking it's 1,600 damage. So like you need to hit both, but then you can't boop it to be able to hit both and whatever. No, you just 20, yeah, like this is a lot of damage. I had no idea it was doing 2,534 damage. Yikes. Yikes. That's a freakish amount of damage. So what, hold on, what do we end up with? So if you kill, I want to see that turn again. This game is over from this point. Like, it doesn't matter. We could let it play out. But so that means these two are dead. So then it's Puff, Repeller versus Damage, Glob, Jar, and Shove Shark. The thing is, depending on from a bomb to a nuke, yeah. Yeah. This is like video game. I mean, it is a video game, but like it's a video game nuke where like, no, this is like a planet buster. I'm not going to sit there and do the math, but like, I wonder if it's possible for the repeller to only get one hit in this scenario and then back off so it can't even get globbed. Because then it's like, no, you literally can't lose. Because the Puff will end up finishing off the Jar. They even if they glob the Puff, there's not going to be enough damage on it for it to matter because you'll be able to come back in and boop the glob off and then just take everything down. So like, yeah. That would have been a good play. I 100% see what you're talking about there. This is I'll admit, I do try when I do viewer games to be more entertaining than analytical. At least at this stage. I used to do a more analytical bent. And if people want me to do the more analytical side, thought I saw a bug on the wall. If people want me to do more of the analytical side, I will do that. Just let me know in the notes or something, and I'll pause and make sure we go through the game. But the reason I do that is mostly people enjoy the entertainment more. But you do miss things like that. Like, I would have never clicked on the kaboom. I just, oh, it does 1,000,000 damage. Like, if Hopefully wanted, you could just body block to prevent the repeller from getting globbed. True. You could also do that. But it just depended on, like, how many attacks were needed where, kind of thing. Yeah, Chad, if you submit games and you want me to do, like, more analysis of it as compared to commentary, I'd be more than happy to do that. It just kind of boils down to, like I said, dude, people will always say, oh, no, I want the, like, in-depth analysis. I want to hear all the technicalities and all the strategy and the tactics and things. Most people just enjoy, like, they just want to have fun. So, which is fine. It is what it is. All right, Chad, almost didn't have time to switch back over because this is only a 15-turn game. Our hero, Lord Shinra X, The Rush. You got the touch. I don't know why that you got the touch went through my head. Scopaceum, speaking of Scopaceum, the Coliseum, I gotta set up a green screen so I can do some better, gotta balance it out for that. I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, well, I guess technically we got two normal-ish games based out of the two. Little Quagmire action. Are we gonna see an alligator? Who knows? Are we gonna see a brony? Probably not with only 15 turns, but I could see it. Could see it. I forgot what game I was playing, chat. Oh, I think it was Warhammer. I forget the name of it, but it's a modern Warhammer game that was designed to look like old Doom with the way it played, like a boomer shooter. And they had a level where it was like these portals doors, which, by the way, you see the share symbol above the door there. But they had these doors where it was like, it was a level with Zinch, or Zinch, whatever, like the chaos god of change. And it was like, it was one of those levels where you go through the portal and then you have to figure out the puzzle by jumping through portals, or otherwise it's a never ending loop. That's what this reminds me of. Because, like, this door doesn't look like it goes anywhere. Well, I mean, it goes somewhere, but it doesn't connect anywhere. It's just, like, underneath this platform, and you fall into the abyss. Also, apparently, it's Flat Fuck Friday over here. Which is what I may name the YouTube video for my my Star Wars tournament report. Yo, a little Charon action. Let's get it. Let's go. So yeah, this is something that I think would be interesting also. As an anti-Sentinel setup, at whatever the, like, design the map. Like, let's say we took transaction declined. All of the optimal places for Sentinel placement, aka like those corner places, depending on your perspective of the map, the corner places where they can cover all 3 points, or even 2 points, put lava tiles there. So it's just literally not possible to put, well, it's not that it's not possible to park a turret there, but you have to get a honey bear, a Charon, a whatever, in order to ensure that you don't just get crapped on. Problem solved. We're off to the races. Except our hero has the advantage both in panic points and they were there first. And they're going to be able to reinforce more strenuously, depending on what they do here. I do love the Skinwalker. Wait, you're not going Heart? What's happening right now? All right, Corn goes down. Presumably Droney is going to go down. A little reinforcement there from Jin Sting. That cat's presumably going to cap or recap bad guy's panic point there. But this does hand over the first heart hits to bad guy. Okay. I guess, did bad guy not test that? I don't know. That honey bear seems unnecessary. I get it, but, like, this play just, there had to have been a better option. You can't tell me that this was the best option. I get why they did it so that you don't lose the Innocuous, but, like, that was your best line? That can't be true. Say it ain't so. That is a lot of phobies near and around a bad guy's heart. Not a lot around our hero's heart, even though that, excuse me, that snowball's chomping away. I didn't drink nearly enough water the last 2 days, chat. I had way too much candy because my blood sugar was getting low, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a candy bar and a bag of Skittles. Do you know how much sugar is in a regular bag of Skittles? It is an obscene amount of sugar, like, absurd. I did not realize it. Like, I mean, I've known for a while now, but, like, when I first found out, I'm like, holy shit, that is an enormous amount of sugar. I want a diabetes phobie. Just, like, they have to make, like, a bad candy bar phobie, you know what I mean? Scritch? I feel like you're taunting right now. Although, to be honest, the math is either in your favor or it's not at this stage. And there's realistically no way it's not. This is, and we've talked about it before, it's been a while, but it was ironically, well, maybe not ironically, but it was Aliengineer who beat me on this map. with a brony setup that I couldn't really outposition, or maybe I could have and I just positioned poorly, but either way, this is a shockingly aggressive map. Like, people don't respect it. 2578 to 2968. Scritches for good measure. Just in case. See, the problem is, what Bad Guy did here was just like the worst of both worlds. They didn't hard defend, and they didn't hard push. And they didn't claim the panic point. So, like, they were not winning on any front. It did, like, I kind of get why they recommitted to the bottom. Because at one point, they did sort of push your offense back, but not really. Like, you never really left. You were always threatening. Pretty much all my matches on this map have been the same, just rush. Has anyone tried to actually defend it? I mean, Bad Guy made an effort here, but, like, I'm saying, has anyone recognized it and just been like, no, I'm pulling back and we're walling up. We're bunkering up. We're locking this down. I'm not losing this way. Because I think, at least when aliengineer did it to me, yes, but all of them were unsuccessful, fair. Like, when aliengineer did it to me, there was a brony involved. And it's like, okay, if you set up the brony and you turn off my team for 3 turns, you're going to win. Like, okay, I get it. But it's concerning to me that if you're just pushing and people are actually trying to defend and they can't, like, is this map secretly Phobos? It's like a Scooby-Doo reveal. They pull off the mask and it's like, ha, I was Phobos all along. If I had Maroni, I would spam it in this map for every single game. Honestly, like, yeah. I worry about, like, Cars harps on Brony, and I do think there's issues with Brony. I don't know that I agree that people are like, well, Brony's not cool or edgy enough for me to be worried about it. I don't think, I mean, I'm sure there are players that are like that, but I don't think that's really what's happening. I think it's more, I mean, it's an ultra rare. It's not trivial to use. It isn't just like old Akira, press a button and you win. Because you could easily shoot yourself in both feet with the thing, and then you burn 7 keys on nothing. So I don't know. This is why I like tournaments. I want people to show up and show me. Prove to me that these things are broken against people that are in the moment focused on winning. And the reason I say that is a lot of ladder games are like, yes, you want to win, but like, are you really paying attention all the time? Nobody's paying attention 100% of the time. And I don't know that we're getting great data out of the ladder. We need comparable players with reasonable assets, like, so that they can both present a threat and potentially respond, and they both need to be in the mental state of trying to be competitive, or otherwise I have a hard time taking the individual or the aggregated data seriously, because it's like we're just flinging stuff at the wall. But we'll see. All right, so I don't know if this person submitted the same game twice. Because it looks like, yeah, it looks like they just submitted the same game twice, because it's the same opponent on the same day, but they only have it once against this person. As far as I can tell, I'm just scrolling through the profile. And even beyond that, like, the notes are very similar, so I'm going to assume that these are the same. I don't know. Just give me 1 second to double check, chat. So this is the 24th against Boogie Woogie. I was about to say, isn't that the bad guy from Nightmare Before Christmas? But that's Oogie Boogie. All right, I think that they just submitted the same game twice. All right, Cheeseburger 779. That's not actually a name. It's just Cheeseburger. Rocking the Stairmaster avatar. I haven't seen one of those in a while. I just love Sucky. Sucky Enjoyer. The Sucky Pressure. Those are notes from two different games. Same player, same opponent. I don't know. I'm assuming these are the same game. We'll see. What do you mean Brony is the edgiest phobia in the game? There are people who would agree. There are people who would agree with that statement. So yeah, Sucky. I mean, DT did prove the value of Sucky a long time ago. I can't click on the damn phobie. Oh my god. Thank you. What the... Literally 3 times the phobia levels. Rocket 55R trying to drop a link. Foolish at best. Foolish. I hate to say this, but is Boogie Woogie one of the bots? It can't be. Yeah, that can't be true. Because I'm pretty sure the bots don't get these phobies. But that's a 4-to-1 panic point advantage. Like, dude, this is over 10 phobia levels. Pushing in like this? Stones. We'll just put it that way. Stones. Bad guy in shambles, just on the retreat. What is happening? Did I, like, mix this up? No, I mean, our hero is the Sucky Enjoyer. Have you ever seen the inside of a lamprey's mouth in real life, chat? Which is kind of like what the inside of a leech's mouth is going to look like. It's actual nightmare fuel if you haven't seen it. It's actual nightmare fuel. Kind of like the origin of chainsaws. If you don't know what the history of that is, you're going to learn a lesson. You're going to learn something. Get the terraform block in order to lock out the snappy. Why is bad guy not just like, why is there a jar on the stem? Why is anything in this game happening the way it's happening? Are you kidding me? Like, look at this. Sucky Enjoyer here with level 6. We have... What is happening? Like, what is bad guy doing? I joke around, or I was even talking about earlier. I try to go for entertainment value more than analysis. Don't get me wrong. I want to do the analysis and I like doing it, but most people are here for the entertainment value. But there's a point where it's just like, I'm not joking anymore. I don't I have no fucking idea what is happening here. Do you get an oopsie baby that early? Huh, I guess you do. Sucky going down. I'm afraid to look at this Evo. I love when they do the terraform effect. I don't know if people have caught this before, but like this beam of light that comes down, it's like they call down the finger of God in order to destroy the obstacles. Level 16 Evo 3.0. Now, this is one of the shortest games we had tonight. Not the shortest, but one of the shortest games we had tonight. And the monstrously underleveled player is just taking it to the overleveled player here. Erratic with the superhero entrance, as always. John Wick. Because reasons. What? To be honest, nothing surprises me right now because bad guy is on the retreat with their level 16 Evo 3.0. And chat's trying to tell me that Evo 3.0 is overpowered. Get out of here. Scrubs, all of you. What is happening? There are a number of people that regularly now ping me either in the YouTube comments or in Discord or both about things that come up in the viewer games and Monster of the Week and stuff like that. I can't wait until they get to this game. All right, bad guy. The comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Bad guy's always been here. Revenge of the bad guy. The bad guy strikes back. Return of the hero, though. If bad guy retreats here, I'm going to lose my mind. What? What purpose does that serve? I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what I have to say. Actually, I know exactly what I'm going to say when the game ends. Oh, God. Oh, you ready for this one, chat? Are you ready for the cringe? How do you like your cheeseburgers? Because this one was well done. Ah! Got him. Got him. You know what? I just noted that I was going to make that the intro, but I think I want to leave that one and not have it be the intro because I want people to find that one. Jesus Christ. What in God's name was that game? Yikes. Yikes. That was a fun game. I'm at the point where you have to have like a really, so like I think it was the first game of the night with the Honey Bear play. Like that was a good heads up play. I think Shinra's game that was very well executed. But you need games like that last one to just be that lunatic refresher of like, yeah, sometimes you gotta see you gotta see it to believe it. You gotta see it to believe it. All right, our hero here is Killer Frost, with a little footnote attached thanks to the asterisk. My opponent played well. I'm not sure when things went downhill for them. We will find out whether you are fibbing or not, Killer Frost. Because sometimes the notes here, people are like, I don't know what happened in this game. And it's like, I'm pretty damn sure you know what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th game, I believe, for tonight. I'm going to mark the other cheeseburger game as done because I don't think that that's... I think they submitted the same game multiple times. But either way, our hero, an interesting approach to this map. I don't think... Correct me if I'm wrong, Strip. Don't see many players using the Leshy avatar. True. I know DT did for a little bit. I think there was somebody else. Notably, bad guy with the Temptress avatar. You deserve to lose then. Temptress looks like kind of frightening in the avatar. I'm not going to lie. It looks way cooler than it does just gameplay-wise, for sure. But I do want to call out that, I don't think we have a quote-unquote standard opener on this map yet. We've seen a lot of people try a lot of different things, which is cool. It's kind of interesting. That's a very early boss, however. Just thundering onto the battlefield. Do we call it a battlefield, chat? Field of play? Do they call it something in the tutorial? Ooh, a couple things getting traded out here. Bad guy with some stones here, offering things up to the boss. However, the boss probably dies in return if it goes for any of these. Down in the south, that is, because you'll get rustied. Although, yeah, you get the rusty here, so that's safe. Shove Shark making an appearance. Who could have seen that coming? Okay, so I will comment on this. I do find it amusing in general, and it's difficult to assign this to particular individuals, this line of argumentation, because if you don't, it falls into a different fallacy trap of assigning the community says this and they simultaneously say this, so therefore the community is hypocritical. But that's not necessarily true because it could be two different groups of people saying different things. Case in point, Shove Shark, a lot of people complain about the meta, where they complain about disliking that certain phobies show up all the time and that sort of thing. But then you have a significant portion of the player base that loves Shove Shark because of how it manipulates the game, but it does show up pretty regularly. Those two ideas are kind of in conflict, right? So who wins out there? And I think it may come down to multiple different cases of, it could be different groups, different people. Like one group of people hate it, one people love it, and they may love it or hate it for whatever reason, including the ones I mentioned. Or it could be the same person or same individuals that are saying they don't like metaphobies, they don't like things that get used every single game, every single time. But they do like Shove Shark because it lends itself to more interesting and unique gameplay lines. It's just kind of funny to think about. Also, my thumbs are getting worse with the numbness. Seems bad. If this continues through tomorrow, I'm going to call my doctor, chat, because I'm like, I'm not joking now. This is a concern. Sucking once again, making an appearance. That's an insulting way to describe bad guys' play. Obviously, chat means sucky. Yeah, you wrote sucking. I'm sure it was an autocorrect thing, but it's still funny. It's still funny. So we do get Phantom Which, okay, so this is what I was alluding to earlier when in the notes our hero's like, I don't know where it went downhill for bad guy. Like, I don't know, I can't imagine. Admittedly, they did just connect with Bad Omen, 10 keys to 12. Powering down the Gonzo, was this bait? Your Fired still cooks for the 34 damage. Lol. It still cooks for the same amount of heat, though. Blasto? Yeah, you know what? You got a Phantom, why not? Chat, what if Phantom could only fling one movers? I think that would be too... This is going to sound weird, but like, for more casual players of the game, I think that would be problematic, mostly because, like, it sounds silly to put it this way, but the easiest way to describe it is they wouldn't be able to figure it out. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but just take my word on this. But I wonder what that would do to it. I'm getting conflicting reports because I put the post out there, the poll out there. I do want people's opinions. Should Phantom get banned in Monster of the Week? And I want people to prove that it needs to be banned. And up to this... Yikes! Bwom. Oh, that didn't cook it? I mean, it did a pretty damn good job, but yikes, it didn't get it. Yeah, I'm of the opinion if you want something banned, prove to me that it needs to be banned in tournament play. Like, I just don't see how... I don't know. I need known, accepted, strong players to run the phobies in question, and the player not using it to be incapable of responding across like multiple maps, multiple strategies, different timings, whatever, different responses, because a collection of anecdotes is not data. We can try and draw conclusions because it's like, oh, well, we watched Shadow Force body people with Phantom in a previous Monster of the Week, and it looked unstoppable. That doesn't mean that it is. It just means that on that day, people couldn't stop it. So I want to know, and I need to see, are these things actually the way people claim they are, or not? This looks like a dead Phantom, which at this point, I don't know that it matters. Why? I think the Blom and your Fired are back up. So, like, you can move up, Blom this angle, and your Fired this whole cluster. I'm not gonna lie, bad guy. I don't love this one. I don't really understand the dial response at all, but then the dial onto the Phantom that's currently on cooldown, I guess, like, I know you want to kill it. You have a window right now to do something, and, like, Personally, I'm sensing frustration. How is Sucky still alive? Why would you target it? It's irrelevant. Like, it didn't matter. The whole game, it did nothing. You know what it did? It attacked Phantom. Didn't even get a takedown. Like, what is the point? Yikes! You know, last I checked, you don't want to be around a burning TV. Seems not good. Seems unhealthy. And I'm not a doctor, but I don't really want to be around a burning TV. Seems bad. Bad guy making their last stand, going heart. Admittedly, they have a 4-1 panic point advantage now. They did have that periodically throughout the game. It's not good enough. Not good enough. Spoiler alert. Cooking the worm. Cooking the worm. Don't know why that was necessary. Just because you can, I guess. Wham. Wham. GG. Well played there, Killer Frost. Not bad, not bad. Alright, we might get one repeat game in, chat, because I think this is our 9th game, and I think that's all of the unique people. I didn't switch over. My bad. Well, some of you may be spoiled on the results. Or a cheater. Or because I forgot to switch the overlay. But Master Dark is our hero here. Good. Just a novel here. Hold on. What is... Somebody add a note in the... Oh, they updated it. Okay. All right. Being a while since last time... Presumably been a while since last time I submitted a game here. This was a draft game that I found very cool. Very much show how Radiator was threatening. 3 heathening, if well placed. Also, Brony got countered without Firkin. All right, I'm making fun of the typos from Master Dark, but it's funny to me. So yeah, draft game. I believe it is Crowley that runs these. I think I wouldn't be opposed to like there being a draft mode in Phobies. The problem with drafting is the same problem I have with adding special rules for banning out Phobies from certain people's collections or jumping through extra hoops on certain things and doing all these kinds of setups. The big problem is this. People forget. Because you're mid-match, it's arena. Well, this may have been async, but like for my events, it's arena, it's stressful, and then it's like, oh yeah, oops, I put this thing on the board, and now you lose. Which is a very stupid way to lose. And it's like, yeah, it's on you to remember. You should remember. You messed up, but I don't want to put people in those positions. And drafting kind of falls in that category, because it's like, well, you didn't draft that for your team, so you can't use it. But now that person has to keep track outside of game what their legal team is, and it's just annoying. It's more overhead. It obviously can be done, and I think it's cool, but it's not something I'm really interested in running. There are 2 types of people who write nothing on the notes and those who write an entire novel. True. It's like, cool game. Empty notes. This was fun. And then the other one is like, in the beginning, there was darkness, and then after the time, like... First, I was born. It was a rainy day. Approximately 68 degrees. It was my 3rd grade book report. What does this have to do with Phobies? I'm getting there. You need the full backstory. All right, bad guy, pooping everywhere. This has to be the most Master Dark team ever. I understand Master Dark drafted it, but it's funny. It all started when I was in kindergarten. The wedgies never ended. But this is like Master Dark .team. I do wonder for these draft formats, like, are certain phobies banned from the draft? Because, like, I have to imagine taking a Sentinel is paramount, right? They're way too good to not want, especially in a draft, which inherently means it denies it from your opponent. So you will, like, if you take a tractor, they can't have a tractor. That seems incredibly powerful. Brony! There it is. It's the old aliengineer lock. Wait, does Brony normally have its eyes closed? I'm just realizing it, because you know part of the idle animation is it opens its eyes. Its eyes are closed right now. Like, watch Brony. It just opened its eyes. So is it, like, normally napping? It's that bored with everything that it doesn't even pay attention to the game? It's running around with its eyes closed. Is it echolocating? What is happening? It takes like 2 peeks every few seconds and then goes back to taking a nap. Or maybe the eyes are actually the eyelids and its eyes are open now, but when it blinks like that, or what I'm thinking is it's opening its eyes is actually its blink. Radiator slapping the crap out of a sleeping horse. Or whatever the hell Brony is supposed to be. I never noticed that detail. I only notice it now, but I watch a ton of Phobies, so like I said, some games you just have to, like, looking for these details is the hilarious part. Oh no, does bad guy think that you can body block the Brony line of sight? Oh, okay. Alright. Trapping the Brony? Clever. You know, I don't hate this, even though it cost 8 keys. But it's 8 keys to deal with a 7 key? Like, that's not unreasonable. Why did the werewolf move? I do wonder if any of the artists for the Phobies team, because I know the devs and some of the programmers and stuff like that, they will watch. But I do wonder if any of the art team watches for, like, the ridiculous things we say and notice. Triple panic point advantage. Bad guy body blocking out our hero's team. Werewolf powering up. Freeze on the radiator. Would Brony be stronger if it had an attack? I mean, yes, that would be strictly better than now. And if so, what would the attack animation look like? It would just do a rear horse kick. Maybe it would, like, shoot out rainbows or something as part of the horse kick or something like that. But, like, it would just do a rear horse kick, and, like, a horse kicked me once. It hurt. Like, you get kicked by a horse, you're going to know it. Well, maybe you won't know it because it may not be there anymore. I have to imagine a Phobies horse is not going to leave much left. Quad panic point advantage. Bad guy in shambles. Radiator frozen but going off. Probably dead. It's probably dead. Down goes Radiator. Actually, it's not quad panic point. What am I saying? I mean, 3 to 1 is still pretty good. Pretty good. You can tell by these spasms out of bad guy's heart. Generally, that's not what you want your heart doing, spasming. Seems bad. Less than ideal, one might say. The bad guy can't threaten this Hevo 2.0 that is poised to close this game out. Plus, we're going to get a panic point advantage anyway. Brony's going to come back in, recap. Very well played. The Brony did kind of get countered. Like I said, I did like that bracketing there. Like, that was a cool idea. I don't know how regularly you can do that on other maps when you see a Brony. Like, it's something to keep in your back pocket as a potential option. So we did learn something from this game. It's just that's a difficult thing to set up for what I presume are obvious reasons, but GG. All right, we'll do one more chat. I think we're going to finish the way we started in more ways than one. Yikes. Well, like I said, we're going to finish the way we started. Potenzia versus Didi. The ending gives me nightmares, not going to lie. Well, it's Phobies, so it should. It's interesting to me that, like, so I like to design games just for funsies. And I've had ideas for many years now that I feel, and I think Phobies does a good job of this, but they obviously don't have a monopoly on this. It's not like other games couldn't do it, of doing things surrounding the subconscious, dream states, things like that. And I'm not talking just horror games, because there are tons of horror games where it's like, oh, well, evil entity invades or possesses somebody or like does whatever and then pulls the main characters into this horrible dream or something like that. But I want, like, because you can dream, it doesn't have to be horror focused or even necessarily scary focused. I mean, presumably that will be a component because nightmares, right? It's an obvious thing. But I think there's a lot of room to be explored in game theme along these lines of just like using dreams. Because we've all had really weird ass dreams, right? Like, it could be anything. It could even be a boat. Double trappers. I can't imagine why this game went so long. Can't imagine. Didi with the counter fire ant in Venus. Like, okay. I presume next turn we're going to see a shove shark because that seems like an obvious pairing with this Chuck. The Chuck is interesting. I kind of like it. The problem is that there's a spa on this map, so even if, like, you get the pokes, you know, you shove, you poke, you retreat, you end up with this weird thing where, like, okay, well, they just go walk away for a few turns and then come back because the minefield that's going to get set up is going to make this complicated. I don't know. We do have a Graylien coming out as a counter to said Chuck. We haven't seen an Urk game in a while featuring a Graylien, but... Alright, looks like we're going to try and set up the old Chuck to the heart plan. Denzia isn't necessarily set up to do that, to defend that outside of the Graylien. I guess this will work. So, like, you can move the Chuck up there. The Graylien burrows to the trap location. You swap, and then you should be able to kill the Chuck. So bad guys should not advance there, unless they just hate their Chuck. This makes sense. Ooh, the Gravedigger body block is actually a good play. I was going to say, even if our hero swaps the Chuck, I'm not sure they can kill it from where they'd have to swap it to. I guess it's not impossible, and of course, bad guy doesn't know where the traps are. Even if they, at this point, it's kind of like, oh, these traps are in this general area. Hey, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Much appreciated for that sub. Although I don't know why it isn't updating over there. It should. Although maybe if you... I don't know if you can, like, tell Twitch not to? I mean, this is getting updated by Stream Elements. But if they can't read wherever Twitch sends it to, maybe they can't. That's weird. Getting the shove. Is this a dead fire ant? Yes. It's a dead fire ant. Confirmed. Dropping the raid on top of that guy. All right. Hero in a bit of a pickle. Little bit of a pickle here. Tractor coming down. Ooh, do you have the damage for this? Did really none of those attack? Ooh, well played. This is actually a sick play. This is a sick play. For some reason, I was thinking the Gravedigger didn't have an attack. Yikes, that is a brutal turn. Very well played, Potenzia. Very well played. Akira as the follow-up. Imagine if the Chuck was still on the board. I don't know that Potenzia 100% loses, but, like, it's very likely if that Chuck is still on the board. Now, Didi kind of has a weird configuration. Like, it's going to be challenging for them to even get a meaningful Akira play unless our hero blunders and allows things to just, like, walk onto traps. Or more appropriately, get Akira'd onto traps, I guess. All right, the Kaboom Hail Mary. Five keys remaining for a hero. A meager 1 key remaining for bad guy. I think Akira's online this turn. Yep. That's a pretty good kaboom. Because that's got to be a dead attractor. But with 5 keys still remaining, you could hype it. Like, if you kill the Akira here, the game just ends. Wait, what? Interesting. So this prevents Akira from getting a clean shot onto the Hematic, which is pretty important to preserve at this stage. That is kind of, maybe not your entire team, but, like, it's a good portion of your offense. Obviously, the Akira and Shove Shark are not killing Graylien solo. Blue! You love to see him. You love to see it. But with a panic point advantage for our hero, this is going to be a rough spot for bad guy to try and dig out of. That one turn was just crippling. And you have to imagine that there was no way bad guy saw it coming. Kira's not going to be back yet, but it will be back shortly. So our hero needs to keep the pressure on or get a favorable setup for the inevitable Akira turn. I think bad guy's game plan right now is to try and blue in conjunction with Shove Shark and Akira to like power off our hero's entire team and then hopefully do something from there. I guess. Had a little sacrificial murder wing action there. No fear from the blue. I mean, it's going to power down the Graylien, whose main purpose after this is to switcher you, so I guess this is fine. Oh, we're going to have it power down the Hematic. I don't know that I love that, but I mean, honestly, bad guy doesn't have... Wait. Oh, no. I thought it was back this turn. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, that... Ooh. I was about to say, that is a bad setup into an Akira pull, because Akira was on the stem, things would have been in range. So you get the pull, you pull everything in, you hit the big AoE, you get set up with your other guys. But as it is, our hero is going to be able to push in mostly uncontested. Big panic point advantage at this stage. Big 75 damage going down. There's an argument to say that this is a little risky. The thing is that I don't think bad guy, like, they just straight up don't have enough damage to kill multiple things. I mean, they're going to get the Hematic and the Gravedigger, but they can't kill, of the major things, Graylien, Hematic, and Innocuous. They're not going to be able to kill all three. Or two of the three, for that matter. And this is a lot of heart pressure. I don't know that I love this. So, I mean, I guess there's just not enough damage from the Akira. I was going to say you could move the Innocuous up so that way they're not all grouped. Because, like, if the Innocuous was up one tile, then if they try and take the stim, you're not grouped. And if they try and go after your Phobies, then it gets, like, with the pull, you pull it in and then it can just target it down. The bad guy has to stem the bleeding. This also threatens the Innocuous, but that's not a lot of heart health. Can't quite kill it fast enough. Yikes! Wait, what? Down goes Potenzia with the random Venus trap. I can see why the ending gives you nightmares. Yikes! After all that, oh my god. I think you were too aggressive at the end. Not just like that one play, but like you didn't need to chase. You could have sat there and done nothing. It's like, oh, they Akira me. Whatever, I'm across the map. What are you going to do to me? You get a pick here or there. That was fine. And then just pull everybody back. It didn't need to be like this. Didn't have to be this way. You win some, you lose some. But that's going to do it for this evening, chat. We'll be back tomorrow for variety. I'm not quite sure what we're playing. I kind of want to play some more Warcraft 3. Maybe some Killer Clowns, since we got that shorty toy. We'll see. But if you're interested in tournaments, hit up the Discord. All the details are there. Let's get it out there. That's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Randoms Thoughts.